Welcome back. The International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, has condemned the failure of 10 states in the northern part of the country to domesticate and implement the Child Rights Act. The group says the law will address the challenge of child abuse and violence against women in the face of the security challenges in the country. FIDA has also called on both the states and federal government to take more proactive measures to curb the rising attacks by bandits and terrorists in the north, a situation which it says has displaced so many children and women.
Gathered in this hall are female lawyers under the umbrella of International Federation of Female Lawyers, FIDA. Senior members of the bar and bench as well as traditional rulers are also here for the annual National Executive Council meeting of FIDA in Kaduna State. The meeting focuses on the rising insecurity in the country and the role of women in peace building. In her remark, the president of FIDA, Rhoda Tayodin, laments that the insecurity in the northern part of the country caused by bandits and terrorists has made children and women vulnerable to attacks and other kinds of violent abuses. While she calls on government to speedily deploy other proactive means of tackling the insecurity in the region, the FIDA president also calls on the 10 northern states that are yet to domesticate the Child Protection Act to urgently do so, adding that such piece of legislation will go a long way to protect children and women.
There are fantastic provisions in the Child's Right Law that children need to be protected. That law is a wonderful piece of legislation. It is all inclusive. Children are allowed to participate, they are allowed to say their minds and all that. So government and state government, especially in the north, the northern states, the 10 states are all in the north that have not adopted the Child's Right Law. And if some states in the north have adopted it, I don't see why other states should not adopt it. What affects a child in Kaduna affects a child in Zamfara, affects a child in Plateau and Borno and all. So why are we not ready to adopt the law? Our children go to wonderful schools and they are protected. You find security and all that. But you see children on the streets hawking, begging, cleaning glasses and all that. Something should be done about that.
The issues of penalties for rape offenders and violence against women and children also comes to the fore as some of the female lawyers call for stiffer punishment against offenders to serve as a deterrent.
Too many cases of violence against women and children, too many cases of rape and defilement. We have many of them. At the last count, I had more than 400 awaiting trial of rape as at around early this year, awaiting trial in the prison. Yes, and thereafter we have several other cases that have come up. But women are becoming more informed, more educated, more enlightened. That's why we are beginning to have more reports of women who complain about violence in their marriage, who complain about their husbands beating them, battery, and so on. And also the issue of rape and defilement. This has been there. It has been there. Many young girls went through this before marriage. Most of the girls that lost their virginity was maybe due to rape or defilement when they were young children. In fact, at the last count, we agitated for life imprisonment and or castration. For defilement especially, because that's the area I'm very worried about. The young children of less than 16 years. Well, our laws say young persons should be 18 and below. Now, our position is that for anybody who defiles a child that is under 16, the person should be sentenced to death. At worst, it should be life imprisonment and castration. Many international organizations are saying why so. They are not in support of death sentence. But I am saying that for a child that is like 3 months old, 6 months old, what is the attraction?
The menace of Almajiri phenomenon and child hawking still remain major social problems in the northern region, and the International Federation of Female Lawyers, FIDA, believes that the domestication and effective implementation of the Child Rights Act will protect children from such unhealthy practices.